What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Tuesday night virtual experience. And if you are on Instagram, you caught that nice yawn that I just had. But it's good to be here with you tonight, and grateful to be here live with you tonight. Getting ready to teach an incredible lesson. Protect your peace. It's going to be an incredible lesson. And so I need you to start sharing this video wherever you're tuned in tonight and let everybody know that we're live and on the air for what I believe will be an incredibly important message. I'm not going to make it a series, I promise. I'm going to get through this information, but this is going to be a very valuable lesson because so many people are challenged in this and protecting your excited to share it with you, and just incredibly grateful that you tuned in with who you are. So again, I want to through the networks really and greet again as I'm greeting everybody through the networks. I want you to start liking the video, sharing the video, tagging people in the video, tell them to tune in to this broadcast. And again, as I've said so many Tuesday nights, this is going to be another one of those series or messages. There I go. Messages that you're going to be glad you tuned in for because it's going to be incredibly impactful. And I'm excited to be here. So I want to walk through these networks really quickly because I want to get right into teaching tonight. And we're going to go with whoever is here and move forward. And I'm just excited to be here tonight. All right. Facebook, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuning in via Facebook, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, for being with us. If you are watching via Facebook, do me a favor. I want you to like this video. If you are a real supporter of our ministry and really enjoy our broadcast, do me a favor, hit that like button, but hold it down. Turn it to a love button. Then I want you to hit the share symbol or share button rather, hit the @ symbol, and then tag 5 of your friends and tell them to tune in. All right. If you're on Facebook, do all of those things. And also, if you have not already, make sure you say good evening in the chat area. Let us know that you're tuning in, that you are watching us tonight. And we know, again, you're going to be blessed. We are teaching from the subject, protect your peace, and it's going to be powerful. And I cannot wait to share this with you. It's really been burning on me greatly. I'm here the last couple of weeks and can't wait to share it with you in a tremendous way tonight. Instagram, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuning in via Instagram, welcome. If you are watching on Instagram, do me a favor. I want you to fill it up with hearts. Let me know you are tuned in. And then after you do that on Instagram, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that @ symbol in the chat area and go ahead and invite 5 of your friends, 5 of your followers on Instagram and tell them to tune in tonight. And if you have not already, say good evening in the chat area. Let us know that you're watching. And we know that you're going to be blessed for tuning in. We're so grateful for our Instagram viewers. And I know Instagram always gets the short stick just because of the difficulties we have with the live streaming, a variety of things to Instagram. But we really appreciate those that faithfully tune in every single week. And just grateful to have you with us on tonight. YouTube, good evening to you. Those of you that are watching via YouTube, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, for being with us. If you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor, make sure you like this video. And this goes for everyone. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can find us on YouTube at TheREHABCC. Just go to your search bar, type TheREHABCC. You can find us there. Once you pull up our channel, like our channel, subscribe to our channel so that you can see all of the videos that we posted, and then hit that bell notification icon so that you can then be notified every time we go live. And you can see a replay or in person every single broadcast that we have aired on the air in the past and that we will air in the future. And so YouTube, again, welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And also YouTube, hit that share button if you share the video so that more people can see the content, but more than that, so that other people that you're connected to can get this valuable information rather packed in inspiration tonight. And we know somebody's going to be blessed because you shared it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for all of you on all of our networks that are sharing the video, tagging people. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support and you tuning in tonight. Tonight, we are talking from the topic protect your peace. And that's what we're going to talk from tonight. And this is going to be a very valuable lesson because I believe that in this season of your life, probably more than any other season of your life, it is critically important that you protect the one thing that you can't afford to lose, and that is your peace. And so we're going to talk through this tonight. This is going to be powerful. I'm going to share this with you and get you out right on time. But I really want to take my time and walk through this tonight. And again, you're going to be glad that you tuned in. Really quickly, let me just remind you the scripture of the week is Hebrews 12. So those of you that are recording notes, go ahead and put that in the comments so that everybody that watches live, that tunes in late, that catches up can see the notes. And then people that watch the replay can see them as well. And don't forget Hebrews 12. Hebrews chapter 12 is our scripture for the week. If you've been reading that, hopefully you can see what I meant about getting an easier version, a New Living Translation, New American Standard Version, something that would make it easier for you to read the chapter and really understand it. So don't forget Hebrews chapter 12. And then don't forget this Thursday, we will be celebrating 9 years of ministry. This Thursday, we'll be celebrating 9 years of ministry. This Thursday, August the 11th, with the official celebration this Sunday, same time, 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be on Facebook and YouTube with my father live, who will be sharing the word with us on Sunday morning. And Dr. Zeb Talley Jr., we're excited to have him with us. And really looking forward for you all to you all tuning in. And we're going to sow a $100 sacrificial or $100 seed and challenging everybody to do that and help us celebrate on Sunday. And just excited about him sharing with us on Sunday. You know, I want to say this as well. You know, so many times when it comes to church and ministry, we always celebrate people who come to ministry, who come into the church, who join the church, who become a part of the church. And that's very important. We always celebrate people who become a part of ministry and join ministry. And, you know, people are always hurt by people who leave ministry, but rarely do we celebrate the people who stayed. And I want to take this moment of personal privilege to just celebrate all of you and thank all of you who stuck around. God's going to certainly reward you, but not only that, I want you to know it's going to pay off. And I'm incredibly grateful to serve you in this capacity, in the capacity that we've been serving you. And certainly looking forward to even bigger and brighter days ahead. And so I'm grateful for Thursday, excited for Sunday. And I hope you'll all tune in and share with us. All right, let's get into it. Protect your peace. I want you to put it in the comments quickly. The topic for tonight, protect your peace. Put it in the comments. That's what we're going to teach from. And I'm going to teach from one verse, and that's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. All right. Hebrews chapter number 12, verse 14 is where we're going to be. And you can get that in the King James Version if you like, or any version for that matter. But let's go with King James Version. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. The King James Version is what we're teaching from tonight. Protect your peace is what I'm going to deal with. And this is going to be a very powerful message tonight. I promise you, this will be one of the most powerful messages I've taught. And again, I know broken record, things get better. But this is a powerful message because of the weight and the importance of the particular topic. And that is, above all things, we've got to understand what it really means to protect our peace. In many ways, what we think it is and what it is are two totally different things. And when you understand what it means to really protect your peace, it's going to change the way in which you pursue peace in your life. And I just gave you a clue to what the answer is. All right. So I'm excited to teach this, like a nerd in a candy shop, and I can't wait to do this. All right. So Hebrews 12 and 14, in essence, says, follow peace with all men and holiness without which no one shall see the Lord. All right. That's Hebrews 12:14. Follow peace. Now follow peace with all men and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. Now, I'm going to get into what it means to follow peace and what that actually implies as it relates to protecting your peace in just a second. Today I was doing some work, and very busy afternoon. And while I was doing some work, I had the TV on, and sometimes TV the TV is background noise for me. It can be on. I'm one of those people where the TV sometimes has to be on, not because I'm watching it, but it just has to be on. It has to be background noise, and I can't really describe that. If you understand that, you do. But sometimes I just have to have background noise on while I'm working, and it's not always music. Sometimes the music is distracting to me. Sometimes it's a YouTube video that's playing, inspirational clip or some teaching or something like that, or just TV again. And I'll sometimes put it on ESPN and let it just play, especially if I'm home all day. And it happened to be on today, and I was doing some work, and I looked up. Of course, and there was a League World Series. It was between Texas East and Oklahoma. Texas East was playing Oklahoma, and while Texas East and Oklahoma were playing, I was doing some work and I happened to look up, and the young boy that was batting was hugging the pitcher, and I thought that was weird, right? Two totally different teams. He's hugging the pitcher on the mound. This was today, and I wasn't paying attention. And I happened to look up and I saw them hugging, and you heard the crowd clapping, and the commentator says this is one of the most beautiful things in terms of sportsmanship we've ever seen. And I was like, dog, what did I miss? So I grabbed my remote, the beauty of Hulu, or any other streaming service you use. I'm not promoting them. I grabbed my remote and I rewinded it. When I rewinded it, what happened is the pitcher threw a pitch, and he didn't mean to, but he threw a pitch and it hit the kid on the side of the head. Fortunately, he had his helmet on, his batting helmet on, because if you play baseball, you've got a hat and then you've got a helmet that goes over it when you bat. So he had his batting helmet on, but it hit him square in the ear, like literally probably an inch lower, and it hits him on the side of his face. Because if you've ever played baseball, and I have, there's an opening right there on the side of your face. You've got a covering that goes over your ear, but there's an opening right here where the hat is. It's total nerd stuff, but that's how it works. So he hit him square on the ear, and the kid falls on the ground, and he's laying on the ground, motionless for about 25, 30 seconds. And it's quiet in the audience, and people are just watching and stunned. You can see people, concerned in the crowd, like the kid might be really hurt. So finally they sit the kid up on the ground. The people start clapping. He gets up. They're checking on him. He's kind of looks like he's shaking the cobwebs off. I don't think he was knocked out or concussed, because they would have probably pulled him off the field. But he's shaking kind of the cobwebs off, and they walk him down to first base. Well, they walk him to first base because he got hit with the pitch in the side of the head. But the kid that threw the pitch has a breakdown on the mound. He starts crying on the mound. And he started crying because he thought he really hurt the kid. He thought he really hurt the kid. And so the kid that got hit, who, got the free base to first base, sees that kid emotional, and he takes off his helmet, throws it on the ground, and walks to the mound and hugs the kid. I'd never seen anything like this either. He's hugging the kid on the mound, and, the crowd is just losing it. There are, women in the crowd crying. The commentator's like, oh my God, this is the most, from a sportsmanship standpoint, I've never seen anything like this. It ought to be on the ESPN top 10, blah, blah, blah. And so it was a very, awesome, tender moment, because the kid who was just hit by a baseball in the side of the head, though accidentally, was just hit by a baseball on the side of the head, his response to what happened to him led to an incredible moment that we were all able to embrace. This is what I'm getting at. There is a great misunderstanding when it comes to what it means to protect your peace. People throw out there, oh, I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to do what it takes to protect my peace, and blah, 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 blah. And people really throw it out there and say it oftentimes as if they really fully understand what it means. But I want you to know this. This is the first thing I want you to record. Protecting your peace is not about protecting yourself from what other people do. I want you to record. Protecting your peace is not about protecting yourself from what other people do. The reality is you will never be able to control the behavior of other people. And if you think that protecting your peace is connected to your ability to control the behavior of other people, you will never find peace. And the reality is, some people have never found peace in their lives because they thought that in order to get peace, they have to do things to control the behaviors of others. You will never, especially grown people, be able to control the behavior of other people. So when we think about protecting our peace, we've got to erase our mindset from this idea that anytime we say, "Oh, I'm protecting my peace," we are in essence protecting ourselves from what other people do. There's some things that are going to happen to you, just like this kid that got hit on the side of the head with a baseball. There was nothing he can do about it. I mean, he couldn't control where the kid was going to throw the ball. The kid didn't mean to, though the kid didn't do it intentionally. He couldn't control where the kid was going to throw the ball. He could not control the baseball that was coming his way, right? All he had to do was embrace the impact and take it and go on, right? So protecting your peace is not about protecting yourself from what other people do. Y'all stop trying to control the behavior of other people in order to gain peace in your life. Are y'all listening to me? You cannot, under no circumstance, attempt to control the behavior of other people for the outcome of having peace in your life. People are going to do what they want to do. People are going to move the way they want to move. People are going to act the way they want to act. And you cannot protect or control the behavior of other people. So again, protecting your peace is not about protecting yourself from what other people do. That's the point I want you to record. Protecting your peace is not about protecting yourself from what other people do. You can't control grown people. Y'all stop trying to control grown people. Stop trying to control the actions of grown people. Stop trying to control the behaviors of grown people. Stop trying to control the thoughts of grown people. Protecting your peace is not about controlling what people do. Protecting your peace really is about this, and I'm going to get to this in just a second. See, where most people mess up is we think that in controlling people's actions or attempting to control people's actions, that's going to bring peace to our lives. But what you don't realize is when you attempt to control the behavior of other people, they may conform to what you want them to do for a little while. But eventually, they're going to get tired. If they're normal people, mentally, emotionally normal, eventually they're going to get tired, right? And so all of this effort you expend trying to control the behavior of other people will go in vain. And see, so where most people mess up, really, when it comes to protecting your peace, where most people mess up is how they respond to what people do. See, again, you can control what people do, but where most people mess up in the context of protecting their peace, where most people mess up is how they respond to what people do. So this young man that got hit in the side of the head with the baseball, go back to the example that I shared in the beginning. This young man that gets hit in the side of the head with a baseball could not control that baseball coming his way. But what he could control was his response when the baseball hit him, right? And so there's great value here in understanding what it means to control your peace, just in looking at that example, right? Again, he couldn't control the baseball coming, but what he could do is control how he responded when he got up. Now, if you've ever watched baseball before, especially big leagues, somebody gets hit in the side of the head, whether the pitcher meant it or not, oftentimes the sides come out and they start fighting, right? But this kid really handled it in a different way. He got hit by a ball he did not know was coming, it was thrown fast. He hit the ground, but he responded in a different way. And so this is important. Record this. Protecting your peace is about guarding what you receive or go after. Okay? Protecting your peace. Record this. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all week long. Protecting your peace is about guarding what you receive or what you go after. Okay? When we think about protecting our peace is about guarding what we receive or what we go after. All right. So again, as best as possible, you try to guard what you receive. He had a helmet on, so he had some protection, fortunately, against the ball that came his way. But it was his response after he was hit that really speaks to what he went after when the incident is over. And here's the thing: protecting your peace is really about protecting what you respond to. Okay? Record that. Protecting your peace is about protecting what you respond to. Some people don't have peace because they respond to everything. They respond to everything that goes wrong towards them. They respond to everything that people say to them. They respond to everything that people do to them. They respond to everything people don't do to them. They respond to everything people don't say to them. They respond to how people treat them. They respond to how people don't treat them. Protecting your peace is not about what happens to you. Protecting your peace is not about trying to avoid people from mistreating you. Again, you cannot control the behavior of other grown people. So that ain't what protecting your peace is about. Protecting your peace is about the response you give to what people give to you. Again, I'm in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Follow peace with all men. There's the key. To follow peace means to pursue peace. This is so good, man. I love it. The best lessons be the shortest amount of attendees on it. This is so good. Listen, to follow peace. Tonight's verse, Hebrews 12:14. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. To follow peace with all men, to follow peace means to pursue peace, right? So just like the kid that I gave you the example in the beginning of the broadcast, who was hitting the side of the head with the baseball, he hit the ground. He was out of it for a second. He gets up. His response was not to charge the mound. His response was to go peaceably to first base. And then he even saw the pitcher have a moment of feeling bad for what had happened. And he walked out and embraced the pitcher. And so what this tells us is this: that anytime we pursue anything not beneficial to us, it will ultimately destroy our peace. Record that. Anytime we pursue anything that is not beneficial to us, it will ultimately destroy our peace. That young man could have got up off the ground. He could have charged the mound. He could have tried to fight the pitcher. It would have caused a big melee. One team would have been fighting the other. Coaches would have been fighting the other. In today's times, parents would have been coming out the stands, right? Could have been this just big old melee. But all of that was avoided because this young man decided that pursuing anything that is not beneficial to him was not worth his peace. How many times have we messed up in our lives from a peace standpoint in pursuing things that really were not beneficial to us, but because we had to have an answer, or this is a good one, because we had to have a response. Some of you are masters in just needing to have the last word. Like, you got to have the last word. You got to respond to everything everybody say. You always got to have a clap back. You always got to say something back. I'm telling you from personal experience, the best way to maintain your peace is to choose not to respond to anything that's going to destroy it. Again, you cannot stop what people do, but what you always can do is stop what you choose, or determine rather, what you choose to respond to, i.e., pursue, right? So to follow peace means to pursue it, right? And what you pursue is what you will ultimately become. Record this, y'all. This is so good. What we pursue in life is what we will become. I'm still talking about peace, but this is true in general of all things. Again, record it. What we pursue, we will ultimately become. Whether that's peace, if we pursue peace, we will find peace in our lives. If we pursue drama, we'll find drama in our lives. If we pursue anger, some people are angry all the time. You always mad about something. Somebody's always done something to you. Somebody's always made you feel some kind of way. You always on edge about something. If you pursue anger, you're going to always be angry. If you pursue hurt, some of y'all always looking for things to say people hurt you. People did this to me. They hurt me. They did this. If you always pursue hurt, you're going to always be hurt. If you always pursue fear, you're going to always walk in fear. If you pursue worry, you're going to always be worried. If you pursue doubt, you're going to always walk in doubt. It, the formula of Hebrews 12 and 14 is true for all things, but especially peace. If we want peace in our lives, we got to make pursuing peace the goal, which means you have to make the choice to walk in peace. Because the reality is, like happiness, peace is a choice. I want y'all to record this. Like happiness, peace is a choice. Peace doesn't just happen by osmosis. Peace doesn't just fall out of the ground and land in your hand and you can just embrace it and just run away with it. Peace doesn't work that way. Peace, like happiness, is a choice. When life happens to you, when drama comes your way, you got to choose peace. When foolishness comes your way, you got to choose peace. When rumors come your way, you got to choose peace. When other folks' business come your way, you got to choose peace, right? You have to make peace a choice, and we have to pursue peace. So, I never saw this verse this way until I was studying it, right? We've always heard, follow peace with all men and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. And most people only talk about the B clause of that verse, the holiness part, and they skim over the peace part. But here's the reality. You're going to be able to walk in holiness when you're walking in peace. Are y'all listening to me? You're going to be able to walk in holy. You're going to be able to walk in righteous living. You're going to be able to walk in cleaner living when you pursue peace in your life, right? Which is why you can't be a drama king and have peace. You can't be a drama queen and have peace. You can't always be in the middle of stuff and have peace. You can't be going back and forth with folk on social media and have peace. You can't be going back and forth with people on your job and walk in peace. You can't be going back and forth with your family members and walk in peace. Sometimes you got to leave arguments without having a word at all for the sake of going after peace. Because more times than not, believe it or not, it's more important that you have peace than you have a word. It's more important that you have peace than you have an opinion. I know this is a lot for some of you to swallow, but listen to me. Sometimes, for the sake of an argument, it's more important that you don't express your opinion and keep the peace. This is old school wisdom, that you don't express your opinion and keep the peace than you do give your opinion and create chaos. Now I hear you. Dr. Zeb, are you telling me that if I'm in a meeting and I got an opinion, I shouldn't share my opinion? Or if you're telling me if somebody says something to me I don't agree with, I should just turn, the other cheek and not say anything at all? Are you telling me if I'm in an argument, somebody's accusing me of something and I don't agree with it or it's not true, I shouldn't say anything? I'm saying to you, you got to evaluate the situation and ask yourself, how much is your response worth versus your desire for peace? Because there have been times, frankly, I could have responded to things that I have not responded. I'm talking about me personally, that I personally could have responded to things in my life that I have not responded to because my response would have caused more harm than my silence. Are y'all listening to the old man? And when your response can cause more harm than your when your response can cause more harm than your silence, sometimes the best response is nothing. It's nothing. And so I want to debunk this. There are people that we move around. There are people that we engage with, that we interact with, that ain't saying nothing, but it ain't because they ain't got nothing to say. There's some people that ain't saying nothing because they've made peace their choice. Are y'all listening to me? There's some people that aren't responding to the things they hear, not because they don't have an opinion. Do y'all know how many times, and some of y'all complain about my social media already, but do you really know how many times I've typed statuses and I've had to just delete them off and just erase them out? I was sharing with somebody the other day, and I had to buy some more memory in my phone because I probably, in my note section of my iPhone, I probably got enough statuses for the next, and I'm not exaggerating, probably the next 18 to 24 months. I have a posting cadence that I do. Typically, I post about 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how busy I am, what's going on. But I could show you my phone right now and my notes section, and I've got statuses. I've got months and months of statuses. I've got enough stuff to write a book or two easily in my phone. And I'm telling you, there have been times I have wanted to go on social media and post and say stuff and respond to stuff. And I've literally just had to delete the whole thing and log off. Okay, so if you think what I post is bad, it doesn't compare sometimes to the things that I don't post. Why? Because you get to a point in your life, and especially in your walk with God. This is important. You will get to the point in your walk with God where you recognize that in order to follow peace with all men, you got to make a choice to go after peace, even in the middle of confusion, even in the middle of misunderstanding. In fact, it is better for you to be misunderstood and silent than for you to open your mouth and create chaos instead of going after peace. Are y'all listening to me? It is better for you to be silent and misunderstood than for you to respond to everything, think you got to have an answer for everything, think you gotta do tit for tat with people, respond to what people say and don't do. It is better for you to be misunderstood in silence and live in peace than to have a word and to have a comeback and to have a response and create chaos in your life. It's just not worth it. All right. And so when we pursue peace, we ultimately not only find ourselves going after peace to protect our peace, because again, we can't protect what people do. So y'all stop saying I'm protecting my peace and thinking you're going to stop people's behavior. That's not what that phrase means. When we protect our peace, we're not protecting what people do or stopping or trying to stop what people do. Folks are grown. What we are choosing or what we are doing is focusing on what we choose to go after. All right. And so when you pursue peace, I want you to record this, you will find yourself living in your lane. Record it. When you pursue peace, you will find yourself, let me make this a little bit bigger on my other laptop. You will find yourself living in your own lane. When you pursue peace, you will find yourself living in your own lane. Dr. Zeb, what do you mean by that? You will then be at a place where you first accept that everybody ain't gonna like you and everybody's not gonna accept you. I hate to break the news to so many of you, but so many people don't have peace because they want to be liked by everybody. So many people don't have peace because they want to be understood by everybody. So many people don't have peace in their lives because they want to be accepted by everybody. So many people don't have peace in their lives because they want to be included by everybody. The reality is everybody's not going to accept you. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to want to be around you. Everybody's not going to want to be in your circle and vice versa. And y'all, that's okay. It's okay. You get to a peaceful place in your life where you learn how to accept the cards that are dealt your way. And in the process of accepting what life gives you, and then making the choice not to fight life, not to kick against life, not to try to explain life, not to try to justify life, but to go with the ebbs and flow of life and make your ultimate goal peace. Whatever situation comes my way, I'm going to find the way that leads me to the path of peace. When you operate like that, I'm telling you, life has a different perspective. Drama has a different perspective. What people are doing or not doing has a totally different perspective. And I'm just going to speak transparently. I know what it's like to spend so much of my time worrying about what people think and what they're doing and what they're not doing and where they are, where they're not, and what they like and what they don't. I've been in that space before, and I'm telling you, it's chaos. When you get to a place where you just seek after peace and pursuing the purpose that God has in life and pursuing the plans that God has for your life and not worrying about nothing else, spending less time explaining and more time living. When you develop that kind of mindset, then life all of a sudden, the drama goes out the window. The chaos goes out the window. Your phone gets a little dry. I was telling a group of students last week at a leadership retreat I spoke at. Your phone gets dry when your life gets peaceful. I can't explain it other than to say, when you're not keeping up a lot of mess in your life, folk ain't got a lot to talk to you about because they know you ain't got a lot to say back in return. Right? Your phone gets dry when you're pursuing peace. Your life, your mind gets clear when you're pursuing peace, right? And so you have to accept that not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to understand you, and that's okay, right? The next thing you got to do is you got to accept that your goal should always be peace, not agreement, right? Your goal should always be peace, not agreement. Meaning, I want you to record that. Your goal in life should always be peace, not agreement. Your goal in life should always be peace, but not agreement. I hate the phrase that people say, let's agree to disagree. And let me tell you why I hate that phrase. The reason why I hate the phrase is because most people that say, it's rare when I hear people say, well, let's agree to disagree, right? Let's say in the middle of an argument, there's an argument, and then, nobody's getting the upper hand and nobody's view is being seen. So then one person will just blurt out, well, let's just agree to disagree. The reason why I hate that is because most people, when they say it, they don't even say it with the right spirit. Like, they say it to just stop the argument. Well, we ain't going to agree, so let's just agree to disagree. There's no peace in that statement when you say it that way. Like, people will say that and make that statement to just stop the argument, right? Or just stop the disagreement, or because you not bending or because they not bending, that's the go-to card to just shut down the whole argument. So I hate the phrase, let's agree to disagree, because I believe this: you can disagree in peace. You can disagree in peace. When it comes to your family, you can disagree in peace. When it comes to the people you go to church with and worship with, you can disagree in peace. When it comes to the people on your job, you can disagree in peace. You shouldn't be the person on your staff, on your team with the staff at work, that every time you got a different perspective about what the team is doing and you raise your hand, you give your perspective, it's with an attitude or it's with a discontent. You can disagree without attitude. You can disagree in peace. You can disagree. You can disagree in a calm, cool, collected kind of method. And so we think that disagreement has to come. We think that disagreement has strife and envy to come with, harsh. I believe you can disagree with people and keep peace, but you have to make the choice to do it. Right? You have to make the choice to pursue peace and still make peace the ultimate goal, even disagreement. If people, listen to me, if people made peace the goal in disagreement, relationships would stay together. Friendships wouldn't fall apart. You listening to me? Friendships wouldn't fall apart if people made peace the goal and above agreement. Right? You're in a relationship with somebody, in a marriage with somebody, in a friendship with somebody. Are you going to always agree? You're not. You're not going to always agree. But see, where those relationships normally take a turn for the left, right? Where the relationships go from relationship, marriage, friendship, or whatever to broken up or split apart, whatever, where they typically take a turn for the left is not necessarily in disagreement. You're going to disagree. There's nobody you're going to be connected to, if you're honest, that you're going to always agree with. And if you do, you need to get a different friend. Where they take a turn for the left is how you disagree with people. It's one thing to agree, right? And when I say being disagreeable, I mean disagreeing in a way, argument, a disagreement, see something differently without personal insults flying out, right? So y'all disagree on, what you're gonna watch on TV or what you're gonna eat for dinner. I'm just making this up. Y'all disagree on what you're gonna eat. And instead of you agreeing to disagree in a peaceful way, well, hey, I don't want chicken. We had chicken the other night. I want steak. Instead of agreeing to disagree, and you all eat maybe two separate different things. You disagree, and then you make a comment like, see, that's the problem. You don't ever want to change. Wait a minute. You have gone from disagreeing to becoming disagreeable, and you have not chosen peace. So the issue is not the issue is not that you don't want to eat chicken again. I know this is a terrible example, but y'all bear with me. The issue is not whether or not you want to eat chicken again. It's okay if you don't want to eat chicken a third night in a row. The issue is with the fact that you have disagreed but chosen to be disagreeable instead of chosen to be peaceful. And I'm telling you, in relationships, in homes, at work, in church, in any other social circle that you're in, with your family members, your friends, your loved ones, whomever, I believe that relationships will be a lot more congruent and people would see a lot more eye to eye if they learn how to go for peace in the middle of disagreement. Some people come to arguments, come into disagreements looking for a reason to say something smart. Looking, y'all not saying amen tonight, but I know I'm teaching this good. Some people come into arguments, disagreements, looking for a way to say something smart. Or some of y'all go into meetings at work, and because you don't like people on your team, you waiting on them to just breathe one wrong thing. Why? So you can jump down their neck. And that's because you're not looking for peace. You're looking to be disagreeable. Right? So when we pursue peace, then we understand agreement ain't the goal. Like, it's okay if you don't agree with people. I don't get worked up when people don't agree with me. And in fact, if you really want to live a well-rounded, balanced life, you need to have some people around you anyway that have different perspectives, who don't always see things the way you do, who don't always look at things the way you do, right? Who don't always interpret things the way you do, right? Because if you can handle that in a mature way and still make peace the goal, what it does is it really makes you a well-rounded, well-balanced kind of person, right? So when different perspectives down the road come your way, you're not caught off guard because you have a circle of people who have challenged you before, right? So sometimes you see problems with people in disagreements, in professional circles, in church circles, in other circles. You see people who have major problems when others disagree with them. Why? Because they've never been in settings where they've been challenged, right? They've never been in settings where they've had to hear other opinions that were not like theirs, and you had to sit there and grin and bear it, right? And so we've got to pursue peace. Now, I want you to record this. You cannot pursue peace with others if you don't have peace within yourself. You cannot pursue peace with others if you don't have peace within yourself, right? You cannot pursue peace with others if you don't have peace with yourself. I'm going to do a YouTube video on this really soon on my own channel. But one of the things I'm going to talk about on my YouTube channel is this whole idea of what we fill ourselves up with. Some of you can't have peace with other people because we are filled with so many other things that are the antithesis of peace. And so, you can't have peace with other people because you're filled with things like resentment, frustration, disappointment, hurt, anger, bitterness. You've got these things all filled inside of you. And what I don't think many of us really realize is that every single day, if you imagine your life, and I don't want to go into my YouTube video, I don't want to ruin it. But if you think about your life as a jar or as a glass or as a cup, every single day, you got 100% of emotions you can put in that cup. That's it. And so if you want peace in your life, but 80% of your cup is filled up with resentment, you ain't going to have it. Meaning something has to come out of the glass in order for peace to come in. And so when we think about pursuing peace with others, only when we have peace with ourselves, you've got to understand that the way you get peace with yourself, one easy way you do it is you got to let out all the other junk in your life that is taking up the space where peace wants to reside. So peace, resentment can't reside in the same place. Peace, frustration can't reside in the same place. Peace, anger can't reside in the same place. Peace, bitterness, that's a big one, cannot reside in the same place. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you claim to know and love God. At the end of the day, some of the meanest people I've seen are also church folks who have sat in church for years. God knows I've seen this firsthand. Who have sat in church for years and years and years and years, and they claim to be saved. And some of the meanest people in the world. Why? Because they have gone through life experiences that have filled them up with all kinds of bitterness. And so that bitterness, even them coming to church, them working in church, serving in church, speaking in tongues in church, falling out in church, all of that stuff, none of that is enough to get the bitterness out of you if you're not pursuing peace in your life. You got to get bitterness out of you if you're going to pursue peace, because peace, You can't have ultimately peace in your life if 80% of who you are on a daily basis is bitterness. If 80% of who you are on a daily basis is frustration, if 80% of who you are on a daily basis is anger, if 80% of who you are on a daily basis is resentment, you're not going to experience peace in your life. It's just that simple, right? And so we will stop our frustration with others when we realize peace starts with us. We'll stop our anger with others when we realize that peace starts with us. We will stop our bitterness towards others when we realize that peace starts with us. And at the end of the day, you cannot control what people do, but you absolutely can control your response and how you choose to respond. So when people hit you in a mad way, hit you in a bitter way, hit you below the belt, I've been hit below the belt. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be personally attacked by people, friends, people that you trusted with stuff. And then you get in the heat of an argument and then they start blurting out secrets or blurting out things that only they've had access to. It really hits you below the belt when you're in the heat of the moment. But the reality is you got two choices at that moment. You could respond and start telling their secrets. You could respond with a tit for tat and respond to them the way they responded to you. Oh, you want to bring up that? Well, let me bring up when you did this, or let me bring up when you did that. How many of you do that? Most people do that. You end up in an argument with somebody. They pull up your past, they hit you below the belt, and your first response is to pull up something they did. And before you know it, it is a bunch of back and forth, and you're just butting heads and you're going at it if you're not throwing hands eventually, right? You're doing all of those things. And that's because you chose to respond to what people did with what they did. But listen to me, the best way to respond to what people do is to pursue peace. Hebrews 12:14 says, follow peace with all men. Most people have never been taught this verse this way, but this is exactly what it means. Follow peace with all men. If your goal ultimately is to live peacefully in this earth, around this earth with everybody, then it's going to position you not to respond to everything. Everything is not worth your response. Everything is not worth your time. Everything is not worth your attention. Everything is not worth you having to have a word. Everything is not worth you having to have a say. You've got to make sure you pick and choose what you respond to and how you respond to it. Now, if we know Romans 12:14, the first part is true, follow peace with all men, right? We understand that. And then it says, holiness without which shall no man see the Lord. Then we understand you can't see God without pursuing peace. Watch this. I'm going to make some people upset. You cannot see God, go on to live with him when you die, whatever. You cannot see God if you don't make pursuing peace on earth your goal. Uh-oh. Which means ain't no mean people in heaven. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your title is. I don't care where you go to church. I don't care. Yeah, I want you to watch this. I see G Nader 6516. Please watch this from the beginning. It's one of the best messages I've taught. We only got about 20 people on the line between all of our networks. Listen, I don't care how many titles you have. I don't care what your last name is. I don't care what your role is. I don't care how deep your revelation is. I don't care how long you've been in church. I don't care how many people know you. I don't care about none of that. I'm here to tell you, with all of that stuff you got going on, if you mean heaven don't belong to you. In fact, the old school church used to sing a song when I was a kid, said, if you live right, heaven belongs to you. And they weren't just talking about not smoking, drinking, and smashing. What they were also talking about is Hebrews 12:14. Because see, you can be a non-smoker, non-smasher, non-drinker. We pick on the major sins, right? We pick out what we like, right? And what we want to harp on, right? You can be the non-major stuff, but if you mean you ain't going to heaven either. Are you? Thank you, Sister Missy. Sister Missy said, this is really, you've said that several times. This is a great message. If you mean you're not going to heaven either, right? And some of y'all going to be shocked because you're going to think some of these folks that you think going to be there, that you was in church with all your life, that have been born and raised in church, been serving the Lord for all their life, and working in church and working ministry, all this stuff, but they were so mean and so hard to get along with, and they were backbiting and backstabbers and talking about folk behind the back. Some of y'all gonna get there and realize they ain't up there, and you're gonna be like, "Where's such and such at? They ain't make it." And some of the people who don't speak in tongues every week, who ain't falling out over the pews, who don't have no titles, some of these folk can barely quote scriptures, but they love God, they saved, they nice, and they have pursued peace with people. God's gonna remember them. Y'all, I know y'all don't like that kind of message because you thought your speaking in tongues was enough. It ain't. Speaking in tongues is a sign of the Holy Ghost. It ain't the evidence. Or rather, it's the evidence of the Holy Ghost. It ain't the sign. The sign is how you love people. The sign is the peace you pursue in your daily walk, right? So you can be saved, but if you saved and you go to work and everybody at work know you as the man, the woman that can't get along with nobody, nobody wants to work with, nobody wants you on their team, nobody wants to do projects with you, but you saved on Sundays, I'm here to tell you, you better hurry up and get that in order. And you better understand that peace has to be the goal. Pursuing peace in your life. You are better off. You are better off with no titles, no microphone, no stage, no platform, and people can want to be around you. People want to be connected to you. People want to be absorbed by your presence because you have an aura of peace about you. Then you are loud, anointed, speaking tongues, casting devils, but you just as mean. I was having, I was thinking about this the other day. I was studying for this message. I think it was Sunday evening. I was doing some studying on this message, and I was laughing. I'm going to say this, and this may be offensive to some of you, but you know me, I'm gonna keep it 100 regardless. I was thinking about this when I was doing some studying Sunday, and I came to some conclusions even about church, right? People rag on the church. Number one, the church ain't going nowhere. Jesus said, "Upon this rock I build my church; the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." The church ain't going nowhere. So let's not be ignorant and think the church is now out of style. You don't need the church. COVID didn't prove that we didn't need the church. COVID proved that we had to think outside the walls of the church. It never proved that we didn't need the church, right? And we've been saying this for the last 2.5 years, all right? But let me say this though. I was thinking about this Sunday, and I'm a little over time. Can I have 6 more minutes? If y'all will give me 6 more, no, 7 more minutes. So 8:10 tonight. All right. If y'all will give me that. This is a good lesson. I was thinking Sunday when I was studying for this lesson tonight, I was thinking about this. Some of the meanest people that I've met are also some of the most anointed people I've met. Okay. Some of the most anointed, powerful people I've met have also turned out to be sometimes some of the meanest people. Now, this isn't for all of them. This is not a one size fits all statement rule. So I'm not implying the more anointed you are, the more mean you are. I'm not implying that. That's not the case 100%. But I'm just talking for me. Y'all may have a different experience. If you do, feel free to put it in the chat. It's okay. I don't mind you disagreeing with me. I'm talking about my personal experience. My personal experience has shown me, growing up in church all my life, some of the most anointed people and quote unquote powerful people we've been around have also been some of the meanest people that I've ever been around. And I believe this is in part because back in the day when I was a kid, the older saints used to equate holiness with meanness, right? So the more holy you were, the more mean and stern and firm you had to be, right? So that's why the church mothers got that reputation of striking fear into young girls, right? Because you would walk in and that mother would look at you and scowl at you when your skirt was too short and say, take that short skirt off and take that makeup off and they wouldn't ask you, they would tell you just like that. And someone would grab you and pull you out the church and take that off. And while I understand what they were trying to do, I think in many ways it set a precedence where, especially in the church, we have equated mean to anointed and mean to powerful, right? And so then, people become bishops and they become these different things in the church. And they think that the higher you go, the more firm and stern and mean you have to be. And I don't believe that has to be the case. I heard a preacher say yesterday on the broadcast something that was powerful. He was commending a preacher that he was there to speak to, and he said everybody ought to clap for your bishop, not because he's bishop such and such. You ought to clap because he's bishop such and such, and he's nice. And that was just major confirmation, because I was like, yo, I've been saying that for years, right? We at Rehab have always talked about Rehab being a perfect place for the imperfect people. But years ago, I started saying Rehab, if nothing else, we're gonna be the nicest church on the planet. Meaning, you might not be the loudest. You might not, come in there and have 40-minute praise breaks. None of that. But people are gonna be nice to you, and they still gonna have power with God. Why? Because I don't believe it was God's intent for us to walk in holiness or to walk in salvation and be mean at the same time, right? Because when you pursue peace, when you go after peace, you have no room for nothing negative in your life. I want you to record that. When you go after peace, you have no room for the negative. Record it. When you go after peace, you have no room for the negative, right? So if you're one of those people that's got a lot of negative in your life, it's a good or a lot of negative things going on, a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative drama in your life. It's a good chance you've been pursuing everything else in your life but peace. You've been pursuing relationships. You've been pursuing connections. Maybe you've been pursuing your career more than you've been focusing on living a peaceful life. That's possible. I know what that's like to be in that rat race, but I'm here to tell you, it was never God's design for us to be saved and mean. Now, I get it. I've been around some bishops, some pastors, some folks that people thought were very powerful, and they had great anointings and stuff, but man, they were hard to be around. There's an artist right now, it's a female, and that's as far as I'm gonna go, because I'm not gonna be petty. I'm gonna pursue peace tonight. But there's a female gospel artist that I met years ago in Lynchburg, Virginia. Radford University's gospel choir had to sing there, and Orlando Marsh, my roommate, was the director. I was one of the musicians, and we had to open up for this artist in Lynchburg, a well-known female gospel artist that everybody knows. And what really got me, I was only maybe 19. I think I was 19. Sis comes, backstage. We open up, finish. Sis goes up there, does a couple songs as the main thing, and she comes backstage, and there were choir members back there that really wanted to meet this woman. And when she came back there, she was just as rude and mean. And I get it. Look, when you're famous, sometimes you're tired. You're traveling from city to city. You're performing in different cities. When you're on the road, you may be performing in different cities. You're sleeping in different beds, meaning hotels. You're not sleeping at home. And if you travel a lot, I travel a lot. Sleeping in a hotel bed, sleeping in your bed, especially if you got a nice bed, it's not the same, right? So those things can sometimes make you tired, but that's not an excuse for you to be mean. This lady was dog nasty to members of our choir who just wanted an autograph from her. They just wanted an autograph. And I get it. You're tired. You've been in different cities. But I think I remember her telling her manager something, can you get these kids out the way so I can get to my dressing room? and the choir members were like, wow, right? But it just goes to show people like that oftentimes we put on this spiritual pedestal are sometimes not always very kind, easy people to talk to. And then other people sometimes that we demean, that we denigrate, that we think don't have no oil because of their style, their approach, but they just as nice as they can be, we don't give them the same level of respect. I'm gonna tell you, I have a list of people that I want to meet in my life. Okay, I do. These are people to me, and if you've been on my TikTok, you can see you'll see the wall mural that I have in my house, and I had one of my friends paint in my house. And so it's got some of those people on that mural that I want to meet one day. But there are a list of people that I want to meet one day. that are people that I would call just transcendent people. Farrakhan's one of them. I want to meet Farrakhan. I've always wanted to meet Farrakhan. You don't have to agree with his message. I don't always agree with everything he says. So a lot of what he says is very true, and is actually very biblically based. But I don't agree with everything he says. But he is a transcendent figure, in my opinion. Somebody I would just love to shake his hand and just have 2-3 minutes of conversation with. It wouldn't take long. I already know the questions I want to ask him. But I'll tell you somebody else I put in that bucket that is a Christian that in believer circles doesn't get as much props as he should. And that's Joel Osteen. You can say what you want to say, okay? But listen to me. I got a buddy that knows Joel Osteen, that's met him. And he said, yeah, Doc, Joel Osteen walked with God. He said, because when you're around him, that same persona you get on stage, hi friends, and he opens up his sermon with a joke. And you watch one of his watch one of his clips. He'll open up his sermons with a joke, and then he'll get into it. And when he really gets revved up, his voice will tremble like he's about to cry. And so I asked my homeboy, who's a pastor, who met him at a conference in Texas one time. I said, is he really like that? He said, bro, he walks with God. He said, Joel Osteen, when you meet him, it's like he's got an aura around him. That's how non-dramatic he is. Like, he non-dramatic, he laid back, he's got this aura. And he says, Zeb, you can tell the dude, you talk to him, and you can tell by the way he engages you, talks to you, interacts with you, that the man has spent some time with God. Y'all, that's how I want to be. That's how I want to be. And the way you become that is you pursue peace. When you go after peace, you ain't got time for negativity. He talks a lot about in his sermons, about how he doesn't respond to negative things. I've seen preachers make broadcasts denigrating Joel Osteen. He doesn't teach that. He doesn't believe in this. He's weak. You ain't never seen this dude make a get back video. Not one. You ain't never seen this dude make a get back post. This dude goes after peace. And I'm just telling you, that's the way we all got to live our lives. That's where I am. Look, y'all, let me just keep it 100. I'm over time. Let me keep it 100. I've gone through too much in my life the last 2.5 years to pursue anything else in my life but peace. If things work in your life, great. If they don't work, that's great too. If people are with you, great. If they not, that's great too. Wish them well. But you gotta make peace the goal, because when you do, it puts an aura around you and it really confuses the enemies in your life. It does. All right. So that means when we go after peace, we don't let small things get to us. We don't let insignificant things get to us. We don't let small things steal our joy. We don't let things that are not important steal our peace, steal our joy. We focus on the things that matter, and we make peace the ultimate goal. That's what it means to protect your peace. Protecting your peace is not about stopping what people do, but protecting your peace means I'm going to pursue those things, those behaviors, those emotions, those thoughts, those actions, those responses. Did I say behaviors? Those behaviors. I'm going to pursue those things that will bring me peace in my life. And if they don't bring me peace, I'm not going after it. I'm not going to be involved in it. I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to waste my time and energy around it. And when you do that, y'all, God really changes the aura around your life. And then he allows you to attract and to manifest great things in your life. Why? Because you understand that following peace with all men means following peace in every area of your life. Y'all, did this make sense to anybody tonight? I'm way over. It's 8:13. I got to pray. Listen, connect your hands like this is a sign, symbol of faith. I didn't forget about prayer requests. I'm going to put up on the screen now. You can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org or type it in the screen if you so fit see to do it now. But I got to pray with you, y'all. I didn't mean to run this far over, but I told you this, I could talk on this lesson for 2 hours, because this lesson really is a reflection of where I am in my life. I said this at the beginning of the broadcast, and I want to say it again. I opened the broadcast talking about how we're going to celebrate 9 years on Thursday, right? And celebrated on Sunday with Dad sharing with us. And this thing really hit me yesterday. Look, I appreciate the new members and the new support that we've gained being in this virtual environment, and how that will transfer over once we find a location and all those things. I appreciate all of the new people I've been able to engage with, and throughout this space that we've been in. I truly do. But you know who else I appreciate? I'm thankful for the people who stayed. I'm thankful for the people who stuck around who could have left. I'm thankful for the people who remain faithful, who could have chosen not to be faithful. Right? Sometimes when we are attempting to live a peaceful life and we want peace in our purpose and the things that we do, we got to focus less on the negative, focus less on who left, and focus less on what didn't work, and focus less on how things fell apart, and focus more on the things that did work, the things that the people that did stay. Right? And so, I just want to say that again. When we pursue peace in our lives, it really changes our perspective. We don't spend a lot of time talking about who ain't here, who ain't doing this. Praise those that are in place. Praise those that do support. Praise those that still love rehab. Praise those that still have your back. Stop focusing on a relationship that didn't work, and thank God for the people who stayed in your life. Thank God for the people who stuck it out with you when things did get hard, right? You got to translate this to your personal life. And when you do, all of a sudden, you're going to see yourself living, and there ain't going to be a lot of drama there. Ain't going to be a lot of confusion there. There might be things going on with other people, but it's not going to be with you. Why? Because you have chosen to pursue peace. All right. I hope this is making sense, y'all. Connect your hands like this. Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you tonight for your word this time of gathering. What an awesome time you've given us in your word tonight. And I pray that you would position all of us to make the pursuit of peace the goal that we have in our lives. Above everything else, help us to understand that whatever we set our hearts and minds and intentions on will be the things that will be reflected in our lives. And peace is no exception. Help us, God, to go after peace above drama, above frustration, above bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, whatever the negative emotion or behavior may be. Help us to position us to go after peace above all things, so that we might see that reflected in our lives in a major way. Now, God, for every prayer request, God, that might be in the hearts and minds of people tonight, we then type them in. Every prayer request that has been emailed tonight, every prayer request that will be sent in after a watch of the replay, we lift these prayer requests up to you and ask now, God, that you would answer the prayers of your people as only you can. Make ways, open doors, meet needs, grant hearts' desires in a special way. I pray, God, that you would make this week the most peaceful week of somebody's life, that somebody will take this message tonight and say, hey, listen, I don't want to pursue anything in my life no more that is not going to promote peace in my life. Help us, God, to make that decision, so that in all of our ways, we might still continue to be able to acknowledge you. And through that acknowledgement, you might continue to direct our paths. I thank you, God, because this week will be a week filled with miracles, open doors, made ways, met needs, granted promises and expectations, that you're going to open up the windows of heaven and you will pour out blessings we won't have room to receive. We thank you for these things and count them done. In Jesus' name, amen. Listen, I want to challenge you to give quickly. I know I've skipped a lot of things tonight. We're kind of all off program, but that's okay. I want to challenge you to give tonight. If this message, this ministry has been a blessing to you, you can give one of three ways. You can give via Cash App, $REHABCC Give. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and choose online giving. Or you can text Rehab Works to 336-642-3210. Again, you can give via Cash App, $REHABCC Give. Website, www.rehabcc.org. Or you can text Rehab Works to 336-642-3210. I like that. It is so. I see them coming in from our members and supporters that always tune in and know the routine. And I hope y'all will forgive me just getting through. It's 8:18. I did not mean to keep y'all this long. But as you can tell, this has been a topic tonight that I could not wait. I've been studying peace for the last couple of weeks, and even on vacation, doing a lot of thinking and meditating on it. And I could not wait to share tonight with you. I really, really couldn't. And we're going to do more talking along these lines with the series that I'm going to start after next Sunday. Wait till I start this series. y'all going to be floored. It's going to be the best series I've ever taught. And I hope you'll stick around for it. Don't forget, scripture for the week is Hebrews 12. Don't forget, we're going to celebrate our 9-year anniversary this Sunday at 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my father. He's going to be with us on the broadcast Sunday morning at 9:08. And I hope you all will tune in and join in with us. Would love to see you there. And again, don't forget your scripture for the week, Hebrews chapter 12. We can't wait to see you. And I'm praying that you have a fantastic week. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'm praying for you, rooting for you. Again, forgive me for keeping you so long tonight. Make sure you share this video with somebody. Share this video. Tell somebody to go back and watch this message. I'm sure they're going to be blessed by it. I'm going to even go back and watch it myself. But tell somebody to go back and watch this video and then make plans to join us this Sunday, Facebook and YouTube. Unfortunately, Instagram, don't y'all forget to tune in. We can only do Facebook and YouTube this Sunday, but we're going to be live and on the air with my dad, who's going to share with us on our anniversary. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. And I want you to have a fantastic week. Okay? Praying for you. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful